Okay, this video is going to start off talking about Tommy in it because he posted another Square video recently and something about it struck me to my core and I just needed to talk about it. Not just that video specifically, but I think exactly what about it hit me so hard is the same core that I find in a lot of other things, and I think that's the reason why I gravitate towards that kind of art. So to start, Tommy in it posted a video. Let's see, 12 days ago, as of recording this, February 9th, 2025, entitled Not Doing Well. And it's a 20-minute video of Tommy talking to the camera about his mental health ever since, everything that happened at the beginning of January, and how he's trying to get back into YouTube and how his stand-up career is changing his outlook on life, and he goes on like a solo trip to Switzerland. It's a very simple video. It's basic, it's rough, but it's beautiful. Something about this video, when I first watched it, I could not stop thinking about it. For the past 12 days since this video has been posted, I've not stopped thinking about it. And I think the reason is because of how honest and truthful and vulnerable this video is. It really feels like we're getting a peek into how this person's brain works, not just simply into his life and his mental health and how he's been dealing with everything, but the way it's shot, the music in the background that was produced by him, the time cards in between that are very clearly roughly hand drawn during editing. All of it is so inspirational to me because of its vulnerability. It's simple and it's real, and that's all it needs to be. This video never had to be some vlog where he sits down and he sighs and you can see the ring light and the reflection of his eyes. It never had to be that. It didn't have to be anything. This video was just what it is.
Hello. The past month or so, I didn't have a very good time and I kind of accidentally made this. So enjoy.
Tommy talking about his life to a camera for 20 minutes. And the comments, many of the comments feel the same way. A lot of people are talking about how refreshing it is to see somebody on YouTube being this honest and this vulnerable and this truthful with their audience, especially somebody as big as Tommy with his 15 million subscribers. I think in an age full of Mr. Beast and the many Mr. Beast clones, I think content, not even just content, art and truthfulness like this is so incredibly important. I think it gets to the heart of what YouTube is and always has been about. And I think this video brought back that feeling that YouTube has given me since I started watching. I think humanness is such an important factor in creating meaningful art, and in the year of AI, it's more important than ever to remain as honest and vulnerable with your art as possible. So bouncing off of that, I wrote down some other things that I have loved and watched throughout the years that I think really get to this human, truthful, vulnerable quality that I really appreciate and what I think we truly need more of. Starting off, we have one of my favorite shows of all time, which is New Girl. It's a sitcom about 4 dudes and 1 girl living in an apartment together. It's hilarious, and at times it's unbelievable. What I love about most sitcoms, but specifically New Girl, is the characters. They feel so real and human and vulnerable. And yes, obviously it's a sitcom, it's a comedy, So things are going to be played up for laughs and exaggerated. But when you get down to it, they are just people trying to live their lives and do their best sometimes. And when the show gets right down to it, it has some really beautiful, impactful moments that make it one of my favorite shows of all time. It can be simultaneously so breathtaking and beautiful and emotional, and also the funniest, stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I regret that it made things weird. We are roommates, we gotta figure this out, Jess.
A no-nail oath? You thought I was gonna sleep with one of you? Like I just couldn't help it?
It was me, Jess. I couldn't help it. You dropped your fish sticks.
Shut up, Nick.
I think in a similar vein, I want to bring up The Office. And The Office is one of those shows that sort of gets written off by a lot of people because it's The Office. But the first season of The Office especially is really special to me because of, everything about it. It's such a rough cut of what we would see The Office eventually become. It's less saturated, and you can see the actors are just trying their best to be as real as possible to their characters, because the entire premise of The Office is Michael, the weird guy, full of an office of normal guys, and the normal guys get to laugh at the weird guy, and you as the viewer are part of the normal guys. And, Jim looking at the camera is sort of a connection to the audience. But it's so simple. It's people in an office, and Michael's being stupid, and everyone's laughing at him. It's such a distilled down version of what The Office would become, but I love it so much because of its simplicity and because of the truthfulness that the actors are giving to it, especially Jenna Fischer and John Krasinski. Those two shine, in my opinion. And throughout the entire show, I think Jenna Fischer is amazing as Pam. She brings such a truth and vulnerability and kindness to Pam. She feels very real.
I hope they get rid of me, because then I might actually get off my ass and do something. Because I don't think it's many little girls' dreams to grow up and be a receptionist. And I don't know what I'm gonna do, but whatever it is, it's gotta be a career move, not just another arbitrary job. And Jim's advice was that it's better to be at the bottom of a ladder that you wanna climb than halfway up one you don't.
She's just a woman who ends up in these insane sitcom situations with these crazy people that she works with. But she wants to make art, and she's stuck as a receptionist, and she's engaged to this guy, but she kind of likes this other guy. She's a woman with problems. I think that's why many of The Office fans hate her so much, because of how normal she is and how human she is. Next up on my list is The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which has, since I watched it, it's been on the list of my favorite movies of all time. I really love it, with all its flaws and its imperfections. I think it's really great. And I also just recently read the novel as well, so I am very well versed on The Perks of Being a Wallflower story. And gosh, I really love that movie. I adore this novel. Charlie he's written so beautifully in the film, but this book is really exactly what I've been talking about this entire video. It's from his perspective. He's writing letters to the reader. It really just feels like you're getting to watch this kid grow up. That's what the book is, that's what the film is. You're watching this kid go through his freshman year and meet people and make mistakes and ask questions and get confused and read books and explore music. You're just along for the ride with this kid who was learning how to live life And I first watched this when I was a little bit younger than Charlie is in the film, and it really like changed a lot for me. In a way, it gave me permission and motivation to at least try to participate. Perks of Being a Wallflower changed a lot for me because of how honest it was. It was a depiction of a kid being a young, dumb 15-year-old. And I think seeing that truth, seeing a kid who's just like me go through similar things to what I was going through and have the same thoughts I was, and he still made it. He still made friends and lived life, and he listened to music and read books and saw theater and watched movies, and he was okay. Another film in a similar-ish vein that made me feel the same way is Into the Spider-Verse. Look at him right there. 6 years ago, so I was 12 years old when I first watched Into the Spider-Verse. And that film genuinely changed my life in a similar way to how Perks of Being a Wallflower affected me, but about 10 times more. It's what made me really want to start trying to learn about and appreciate the media that I was consuming. Something about this film, watching this kid grow up and go through the impossible and be helped along the way with his friends who were going through the same thing, and seeing this story portrayed in such beautiful animation and with the soundtrack it had, and seeing a black kid represented like this on the big screen, it like lit a fire in me. It still does. That's why I have Miles Morales stuff everywhere. He's on my keys, he's on my desk. I believe I have a Miles shirt. I have a bag. He's everywhere. I think it's just real. It's, of course, he got bit by a radioactive spider, and we're crossing into different universes and different realities, and that's obviously not realistic, but that's not what I'm talking about, obviously. I'm talking about Miles, the person, the character, how such an amazingly written character. And I see a lot of myself in him, and watching a film portray this character so well on screen is so amazing to watch. Anytime this movie comes on, I lock in immediately, and I don't look away from the screen until it's over. Truly, like, it puts me into a trance. It's so good. I will just sit on the couch for 2 hours straight and never look away. Oh, here's a fun one that I put in my list. We have the music video for That Guy by Tyler, the Creator. I am not the hugest Tyler, the Creator fan. I don't listen to a ton of his music, but that music video honestly is just really refreshing to see. Similarly to how I feel about the Tom Simons video that I talked about in the beginning. He's filming this entire thing on an iPhone in his like hometown in LA, running around with his friends, and he's dancing and doing close-ups, and it looks like it was edited in CapCut, which it likely was. Just the rough, raw nature of that music video, it's taking us a step in the right direction of focusing on humanness in mainstream media. He just put out a video that he filmed on his iPhone, and people love it. In the video, he included clips of him when he was younger, doing essentially the same thing, just messing around outside with a camera. And that essence, that truth, is always so powerful to watch in art, whether it's a music video or a vlog or like a feature film. Just watching honest, vulnerable human people or characters or emotions. Just seeing truth is so powerful.